What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Raptorstrike Podcast. It is episode 55. 55, that's a big 5-5, so.
5-5.
Big 5-5. 55. Yep.
Imagine doing 55 of these.
We did.
No, well, I mean, like that. We actually did it.
Yeah.
Well, we still have this one to complete.
Yeah, we've done 54.
You are weird.
Mike,
Check.
check.
Talk.
Hello? Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking low.
Probably. Just get really close to it and talk to it like you're gonna, I don't know, put a person to sleep.
Go to sleep.
You mean like the teachers when they're trying to help you with the test, and it's just like they're right up on your ear.
Like, don't worry, this goes to me. All I asked was to use the restroom. Please.
I told you.
How's everybody Saturday doing? Huh?
You need a bathroom pass.
Have you seen those TikToks of like the bathroom pass is just something dumb?
Yeah.
Engine block.
No,
One was like a fax machine.
In high school, one of the shop teachers, it was like a 2x4 by like 6 footer, and they had to carry it with them to the restroom. Which, looking at it, that's a sanitation or not sanitation, like
Sanitary concern.
sanitary concern, because like I know those kids don't wash them hands, and that's untreated wood.
Well, I'd say that's any hall
pass. Yeah.
pass.
I mean, unless it's like literally a toilet seat.
There was one that was a toilet seat. Yeah.
I remember seeing one of those.
My English teacher, our English teacher, was a book that was like taped, so it was like laminated. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, hall pass. I
think
never
that's
understood
pretty cool.
them.
I would have done like a tire.
You could like roll it down.
Just roll it.
Just
Tractor trailer.
Yeah.
35-inch all-terrain.
It's like them saying like, oh, you have to do this so you won't get in trouble in the hallway. But I knew so many kids that would just walk in the hallway and not get in
So many
trouble.
teachers just wouldn't give out hall passes. It's like, just go to the bathroom. Don't shit yourself.
Yes, and I did.
Where are those teachers? I've had a lot of teachers where it's like, nope,
I used to.
nope, you can do it during the passing period. Passing period, like, have you ever used a restroom? Do you know
Yeah.
how long it takes?
I never understood why they said passing period, and it was only 5 minutes. You would have 4 minutes.
It takes 5 minutes to cross campus.
Yeah, and especially like junior year when it was like, hello.
Hola.
It was like 1,000 people in the hallway before they split
Yeah.
the schools.
Yeah.
You couldn't get to classes. My favorite thing to do was to find like the biggest dude walking in the direction I was walking in.
And walk behind him.
Walk behind him.
Yep.
Because everybody moved out of the way for
No,
it.
I remember it was senior year, and my English teacher, she was cool. She would just talk and talk and talk. Like English, what's her favorite subject? Because she liked using so much of it. Like she just kept talking. And I already had completed my assignment while she was talking. And I asked, hey, can I go to the restroom? I didn't need to go to the restroom. I said, hey, can I go to the restroom? She was like, okay. I was like, okay. So I left. I went to my second period teacher's room, and I was like, hey, sir. He's like, Joey, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm in the restroom. And he was like, all right. He's like, there's some nachos right there if you want some. And we're playing a round of Uno. I'm like, oh, I'll play a round of Uno. So I got my nachos.
I got my nacho.
This is a true story. I got my nachos, and I sat down, and I played one card of Uno. And then I went back, and there was like probably 10 minutes left in the period. And she was like, what took you so long? I was like, my stomach really hurt. And then I sat down.
And she was like, you know what? I believe you. I believe you. I'm not even going to question
that
it.
was
Like, do not go into the...
That was a good story
To the
from
rest.
high school. Those are good nachos. Rico's cheese. Oh, love me some Rico's cheese.
I don't even remember school, like, period. I was never there.
Yeah.
I was never in class.
My senior year, I think I spent less than half of my actual classes in class. I had like a pass to go to just like one of my random elective classes. I just like flashed it, and they're like, yeah, go. I'm like, okay.
Oh, man. Well,
Yeah.
well, isn't that a blast from the past, huh? So,
Nachos hurt my stomach.
Nachos.
the
and nachos.
nachos, yeah. The nachos that you weren't supposed to have because you're supposed to be in the bathroom.
I don't think he's ever heard that story.
Well,
I just realized.
Good job. Good job,
I
Joey.
mean, there's a lot of other stories that are pretty funny.
I don't know. I think you should stop while you're ahead.
This one time, no.
This one time
At
at band camp.
Yeah, no, high school was pretty good. I went to Southwest my sophomore year of high school because I was at private school before that.
Mhm.
So I had 3 years in public school. Pretty fun. Comparatively, it was pretty fun.
Comparatively.
Yeah. So, yep.
That's why you're weird.
I was the weird kid that
Yeah.
can lift like 500 pounds over my head.
He would bring a Christmas tree during the
Yeah.
week of Christmas. He would bring a
5 foot tall Christmas tree.
Yep.
And I would walk around with it.
He'd walk around school
Okay.
with it.
Yeah.
Christmas spirit. I like it.
Yep. 5 foot tall Christmas tree. I had lights on my bag.
I approve.
See?
It
It
was
wasn't weird.
it was like out there.
I think we would be
two different
friends
color shoes.
2 different colored shoes.
Mhm.
All of high school. Some
like the
college.
same kind of
Yeah.
shoe, just different colors.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
One blue one green one.
Okay. Okay.
So I would do 2 different shoes. That was pretty much it. I didn't do anything else weird. I made Kool-Aid.
I didn't do anything else weird.
Do you remember that? I brought like a pitcher with Kool-Aid and made Kool-Aid.
I don't remember that.
It was the purple Kool-Aid at lunch. Remember? No.
Are
Yeah.
you sure I was there?
I had a ladle, and
You
I
straight
kept
up
that
made
ladle
Kool-Aid
with,
at
yeah,
lunch.
I had the pitcher, and I put like preemptively put the powder in there at
Mhm.
home. Closed it. I was walking around with a pitcher and a ladle, and then I found water at lunch, and I made and sugar. I brought sugar too, and I made it with my ladle, and then I poured it for everybody with my ladle, and then I was being dumb. It was like after school or something, and I was pointing at something with the ladle. Well, it was really heavy on top, and it was pretty thin on the bottom, and I went, and the ladle kept going. The handle didn't. Yep. Sorry, Dad. That's the story of your ladle.
Sergeant Hood says, I was told that the standard U.S. ammo belt was 27 feet long, 9 yards. This is where the expression, the whole 9 yards, comes from. Hi, guys.
Wow.
Hey, Sarge. You learn something new every day.
Yes.
Yep.
The whole 9 yards.
The
Isn't it-
whole 9 yards.
Isn't a yard an American meter, but it's not a meter? Because it's like off by like 0.3 or something.
I think so. Well, I mean, it's comparative. 'Cause it's like,
A meter is roughly 3 feet.
yes.
And
a
a
little
yard
bigger.
is 3 feet.
A yard is 3 feet.
Yeah. I think a meter, like if you do 2 meters, you're like 6'2" or 6'3".
I don't know.
Yeah.
3 meters is like 10 foot.
Asking the wrong guy.
Some. I broke a ladle in high school.
I barely graduated high school.
I did PE online.
I know.
But yeah.
That's a true story though. That's PE credit.
How did you end up doing PE online?
They just had me take a test to get the to
Like,
get
do you
the.
know how
So
to
you
do a
know how to
jumping
be
jack?
healthy.
I know how to be healthy. I just don't do it. Okay, it's more of a do as I say, not as I do type deal. All right.
You're answering questions while chewing on a chocolate bar.
I'm just glad they didn't tell me to turn the webcam on and do jumping jacks. You know,
Imagine knock yourself out.
I had to do that, and I had to do my other like year of Spanish through a test. Just take a test and
Hola, me llamo es.
Raptor
Noah.
Man. You know,
There
I
we
had a
go.
guy in high school that I don't know who he is still to this date, but he would yell out Raptor Man in the hallway.
Really?
Yeah, and I never knew who it was. And it was always like if I was on the floor, the bottom level, he was on the second floor. And if I was on the second floor, he was on the first floor, and then you'd hear like Raptor Man. I'm like,
So you never saw the dude's face?
never, because like I don't know how loud they yelled, and like I couldn't pin down the voice, because like usually you can tell when who's yelling, but I could never tell the voice was.
That's crazy. I wonder if they still follow you.
No idea.
If
And
that
it-
is
and-
you,
and if
please
it was-
leave a comment.
And if it was a girl, I'm sorry because you had a very manly voice.
Imagine if it was.
You had a manly voice.
It was Justice.
You know, I started thinking it was Justice, but I asked him and he's like, no. Like,
Was it believable no, or was it like...
well, you know, you can never tell when he's playing.
Dude.
So, I mean, like, he's always serious. So
I
you
can't tell. He'll be like,
I gotta know. I gotta know when you're playing with me. All right. Well, let's get into it for today. That was a good little throwback.
Yeah.
drink your water. Hydrate.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated, or else. But what'd you do today, Joey?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I was lying down in bed.
Did it feel good though?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. I was just there. Bed. I left the house for like 20 minutes to go get this. I got new clothes.
You to the mall?
No. I picked it up. I ordered these.
From the
I don't ship things to my house.
Okay.
Because
There you go.
they steal.
Thieves.
And, yeah.
For the
So
thieves.
I ship them to my grandparents' house and then I go pick them up.
I was gonna say
Okay.
you should get a PO box.
Probably should.
There's some things you can't ship to PO boxes, and it makes me mad.
Yeah, that is kind of annoying.
So,
But usually, if it's too big for like your PO box, they'll put a key to another PO box.
that's true.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, FedEx will not ship to a PO box.
FedEx won't ship to a PO box.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ever?
Because I tried, and they're like, nope. No, sir. Yeah.
Whack.
That is whack.
I don't remember if I sent it UPS. But
Like even if
You
it's like
probably did.
not in a box. Like, if they
no,
do the
it was a
bags-
letter. I was trying to.
Oh, they won't ship.
I
at
was
all.
trying to ship a packet of letter, like a packet of paper, and they're like, nope. No, sir. So yesterday,
Yesterday.
I went on a little field trip.
Yep.
Yeah, you want to guess where I went?
TSW.
I went over to visit our friends at where, Joey?
TSW.
Bam. At TSW. Which I never realized stood for shock
Texas Shock
or
Works.
Texas Shockworks. Yeah, never knew that until I saw a shock in their display room and it said Texas Shockworks. I was like, oh, that's what TSW means.
Is it that Gen 1 that, shock that has the sticker on it?
And the polished housing. Yeah, that one. So, bam.
Where are they located?
You send it, we mend it.
Hutto.
So they have their Hutto location as well as their Arizona location, which I don't know what city in Arizona,
We're going to Arizona.
but it's TSW Texas and TSW Arizona. They did me up good. I mean, just over 3 hours to rebuild all 4 shocks, put in a front spring. They did all the labor too, so they just parked it on the lift, took everything off, put everything back on, and
I was
Bing,
gonna
bang,
say,
boom.
bing, bang, boom.
When do shocks need to get rebuilt?
I think
Usually
they
you
said
can feel it.
50,000 miles.
50,000.
Yeah, or at least that's the recommended. Like,
Yeah, there's a recommended service interval, and then a lot of people just ignore that and just go until they can feel it.
yeah.
You can feel a difference.
Yeah.
So
And the other thing would be like the more off-road use you do, the less like
The
mileage
shorter
you
the
go in
service
between
interval.
yeah.
to make sure you're saving them, because it's like there's a point where it's too far gone and it's like
Time to just
So,
toss them in the garbage and get
I
new
know,
ones.
like every day, like if you have like an everyday daily driver truck, right? You just get the shocks replaced. Why rebuild them? Is that a performance thing?
So some shocks are rebuildable, but like the ones that come on it, like your standard F-150,
Mm.
no, those are toss them, get new ones.
Yeah.
A lot of
it's also
what I
cost
would
effective.
call what I would call entry level shocks. So stuff like the
Kings.
Kings
Oh.
are not entry level.
Kings are
Yeah, Kings are
Yeah.
up there,
Like
but
Fox
no.
and all that.
Yeah, so Bilstein, they make some entry level shocks that are really cool. Rancho is another brand.
Rancho.
What's the other one? Ibach makes some entry level shocks.
I didn't know
Rough
they make shocks.
country.
I only knew them from Springs.
Yeah, they don't really specialize in shocks, but they do make them.
Like Rough Country.
Rough Country, I don't know, they're just garbage.
Hey, I want to get sponsored by Rough Country.
But yeah, so
They're like, no, because your
They-
buddy said.
They have a lift kit for a Ford Maverick. They're the only one.
yeah, they're the only
They're
ones that
usually
make
the
it.
first ones to make stuff. I've
Yeah.
noticed that. They're usually like,
because they just
it's a new
ignore-
truck, get it, so I can make something for it.
They just ignore ball joint angles. But
Yeah, they gave you a lift. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's
But saying that, like those entry level shocks, like the Bilsteins and the iBox, they're not rebuildable. But when you go to something like
I know some guys that try to rebuild the RAM ones because the TRXs and the RSOs,
those are rebuildable, but you
have to send them to Bilstein.
Yeah, you have to send them to Bilstein, and that costs several $1,000s. And at that point, you might as well just get new ones.
Yeah, which defeats the purpose of having rebuildable stuff.
But yeah, like their entry level stuff, like the 51 and 12s that are on my dad's truck that I bought off of you, those aren't rebuildable. They last longer because the tolerances aren't as tight, but they're not rebuildable. Versus like the Kings I have on my truck, those are rebuildable, but those tolerances are tighter, therefore they're a better shock.
Gotcha. So how cost effective is it? Are you saving a couple hundred, couple grand?
Couple grand, because I'm paying, I don't know, maybe $200 per shock to get them rebuilt versus the shocks cost $1,000
or $1,000 a piece.
Yeah. But you're also paying all of that money up front.
Yeah.
And you're saving it in the long run.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm going to buy these now, save money, and then save money on top. Like it's either save now or save later. So
yeah, like the shocks are expensive, but they're worth it because then your rebuilds cost as much as a budget pair of shocks. Yeah. And then you still have a $3,000 pair of shocks.
Now, I don't know if you already mentioned this, but is there a point where if you wait too long, you can't rebuild them?
Yeah, because then you just start putting wear into them. So you'll have to replace parts. So say, for example, like the shafts on the shocks, those things are a wear item because rocks hit them, they're exposed to the elements. The bodies are usually reusable, but if they get, marred up to a point where they're just, they're trash, it's not, you'll have to replace the whole shock at that point because the bodies are trashed. Or you could probably buy a new 2.5-inch body from King or Fox, but
from TSW,
or from TSW.
Yeah,
but
do they have their own shocks?
Not so much their own shocks as they have their own valving. Like they do their special stuff. Their special shots. Their special sauce is inside the Fox or the King strut or shock.
What? Okay.
So they rebuild the Fox. Well, they rebuild aftermarket and factory Ford Raptor shocks.
Yeah.
Well, factory Ford Raptor, that's Fox, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fox shocks.
But they also do. I believe they also do Kings.
They do.
Or like they'll do what you take them if it's within their wheelhouse.
Yeah. Fits within their capabilities.
Did you get top hats?
Yes, I also got
orange
TSW Fox orange top hats that are from RPG, but they have the TSW logos on them. So now when you take a look, I got that nice little TSW. They also add all their stickers. I mean, I love stickers. You can tell.
Springs? They're coilovers, right?
So I got
struts.
They're strut springs, but there comes a point where you do get coilovers, but that's a different setup. I think Kyle has the
race series
with the dual. He has two he has like two.
And then he has a bypass on the front too.
From who?
Yeah,
from Fox.
From Fox as well.
So are Fox and Kings like the only?
No,
big
there's
ones?
other brand. There's like ADS, Arizona Desert Services or something like that. They're in Arizona. Holly bought them out recently.
I'd hope so. I'd hope so.
Arizona based.
They're just like the top two like contenders right
the
now.
big
Yeah,
names.
there's
yeah, that's like Adidas and Nike.
There's Old Man Emu. They're Australian. There's
The Emu, Australia. Hey, you wanna sponsor the truck? I'll throw on some Australian
shocks.
So we get imported.
They made a set for the F-150 a long time ago, and then they just stopped making them because I guess the F-150 doesn't exist really in.
I'm
Australia.
assuming they have one for like the Maverick, not the Maverick, the
Ranger. Yeah, they make stuff for the Ranger. A lot of Toyotas. So yeah,
Toyota's big in Australia.
Is Holden still a thing over there?
Holden, yeah, but it's all. They're all. It's rebranded Chevy.
No, I know, but like, is Holden company still a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all. I mean, it's owned by GM.
It's Chevy. Yeah.
It's owned by General Motors. You know what I find funny? When people text you GM in the morning, it's like, well, General Motors to you too.
General Motors to you too. That's pretty cool. So what else do they do?
I know they do a lot of like suspension work in general, like getting right angles, getting if RPG sells it, they install it. As far as to my knowledge, because I know they have all the RPG stuff like up front of all the stuff you can buy. But I mean, they work on race trucks or like purpose-built race trucks. They'll build it for you.
Do they do rally?
I don't know, to be honest. I know like their specialty, their bread and butter is Raptors, whether that be a bone stock Raptor or
Pre-runners.
like way up there in the monies, like $150,000-$160,000 trucks, that are purpose built. They'll do it all.
Purpose built?
Yeah, like purpose built for.
Oh, it's
like,
only that.
Like
purpose.
you're gonna put it on a trailer and take it to the track, and that's it, because you're not gonna drive this thing on the street.
Exactly.
But I had a lot of fun out there, hanging out with Brandon, Alex, or the owner Alex, Brandon, and Jonathan. Man, I hope that was his name. But I did get to film a video with them. So we'll have our episode 3 of Raptorstrike Side Quest. So for those of y'all who haven't seen that yet or would like to see, we have episode 1 up right now where we visited Untold Off-Road, which is here in San Antonio. Episode 2 should be coming out here soon. I had gone out to Sour Lake to visit our friends over there at Texas Speed Lab. I was repping them today because they're out there at the Lone Star Throwdown. So giving him some love, and hopefully he gets some reward for that F-250 he has out there.
My uncle had asked if we were at Lone Star Throwdown.
Oh, was he there? Or
Yeah, I think he went.
okay,
He was like, "Did you guys go to LST?" I'm like, no.
well, if he went and he saw a yellow F-250 with a white camper in the back and a blue, nice-looking diesel engine, that was gonna be.
Yeah, I think he usually sticks around the load truck section. So.
Oh, okay. Well, more power to him.
Yeah.
But I had a great time. Like I said, I got there around like 8 o'clock, and by 11:30 or so, they were already done. So like, tear down, take apart, rebuild, put
You
back
thought it was
together.
gonna take for like a long time?
I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I just figured, I'm gonna be here the whole day, and I'm cool with that, because at that point, you're working for me basically.
It's work.
So I'm just waiting, not like I can go back there and I'd probably just get in the way, but something else they were telling me is like, Brandon was saying, like, if I never actually saw you out there at the track and like what you've done with the truck or the jumps you've taken or going out in the mud and all that, he's like, you couldn't tell that your truck's even touched dirt. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. Yeah, it's dirty, right? It's dirty. He's like, but the shocks look like nothing's ever happened to them. But something else that was surprising is that, like what you were talking about, like, does it get to a point where you can't rebuild them? He was saying that the shocks that are used on trucks that are just daily drivers and like never go off road, he's like, they're usually in worse shape than the guys that actually use the trucks off road, because compared to using that entire stroke of height suspension travel, he's like, you only use this much, so like all the wear is right here. He goes, compared to like you're actually using it and it cycles,
it's like 50,000 miles of wear right here versus 50,000 miles of wear across the entire thing.
Yeah. So, but it was pretty crazy for them to be like, dude, your truck looks like you've never even taken it off road. Or like this is really good. And then of course the next question is, how many miles are on it? And I was like, 35,000. They're like, oh, maybe that's why it doesn't seem. But they're like, no, we've seen you off road. We've seen what you do. So he's like, it just doesn't correlate that they're this good in a shape, but we know how much crap you've put it through. So it's like, well, and at that rate, I just got lucky. That's all. And hopefully I can continue that luck here in the future. So,
I mean, a lot of it's just due to the fact that you treat the truck well. You drive it hard, yes, but it's nothing it can't take.
Yeah. That, and I always try to keep it clean.
Yeah, exactly. You clean it off at the end of the day, so there's no dust getting into the seals.
Yeah.
There's no, you try to make sure that it's, running fine. If there's something weird going on with it, you usually pull over and take a look at it.
Yeah, not just, all right, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when we get there.
So, yeah, you treat the truck well despite driving it like
how hard I do.
How it's built to be driven.
Yeah. I mean, and it just goes to the same thing as like the modern engines, where you need to rev them up. You need to be on those high RPM bands, not all the time, but just enough to keep it clean, keep it clear, and burn out all that soot and buildup,
If you don't get the catalytic converter hot enough, it's not going to burn all the soot out of it,
and then
if
it clogs up.
then it clogs up. Or if you, the modern direct injection engines, if you don't drive them hard, they're going to coke up the valves, and then you can't.
Then you take it apart and
take the intake off, do walnut
blasting,
and then
Walnut blasting?
yeah. So you take walnut shell media because it's not super abrasive like aluminum. Because the head's made out of aluminum, you don't want to hit the metal with the same metal and then just wear it out. So what you take is that walnut shell blast, like sandblasting material. You blast it into the hole, the intake port, and you try and get as much of the carbon buildup as you can off that valve. And then from there, you basically just take it and vacuum it out, run out. Usually you run the vacuum. You have a special little tool that you can stick the little nozzle for the media blaster. You stick it in the hole and then you hook up a vacuum to it and it does it all at once.
I always thought you had to remove everything, like take it apart.
Like take the engine apart.
Yeah.
Usually you can do it with the head on the car, as long as you can get to all the intake ports. If you can't, then that's you got to take the head off the car.
Womp womp.
But
then it's womp womp.
That's a little bit more of a pain, but usually you just got to take the intake manifold off.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense.
But yeah, like the people with like newer Corvettes are like, well, why does it run like crap? It's like, well, you got to drive it hard, buddy.
You got to do the Italian tune-up.
Yep.
You do Italian tune-up on your car?
Every
Then
day.
it explodes.
So. But again, thank you to TSW Off-Road for the work they did on the truck. Dude, it's buttery smooth on the way back. Like, the bad part is like I didn't notice that they were quote unquote going out or like, oh, it's coming
like
up on time until and of course the spring makes a big difference too, because like before you would hit the brake and it's just like the whole truck just leans forward. Now you hit the brake and it's just like, it does this kind of stance rather than just like, all right,
What spring did you do?
it is a 2.5 inch, or the IBOC 2.5. So it's a 2.5 inch lift from the stock spring. So it actually lifted up the front 2.5 inches, and probably by the time it settles, it'll be like 2.25.
Well, it ends up
Ish.
at 2.5.
Oh, okay.
It ends
It
up at
starts at, like,
2.5, so
3.
it starts at like 3.
Okay. These were used, so I got these from the Kyle Farley. So currently I have the SDP, SPD? I think it's SDP. The
SPD?
trombone.
Oh, that's the SPD.
SPD trombone mid pipe. Got that from Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have the
iBox.
2.5 iBox, also got from Kyle. So I'm just following behind Kyle as parts fall off his truck. They end up on mine. So shout out to the Kyle Farley for supporting the truck, because at that rate, it's it's parts that are, yeah, sure, they're parts that are used, but they're parts that I know work well. Especially, I go based off of the other guys that are buying stuff. So like, if Gumby's going with a certain brand or a certain way of doing something, I'm like, all right, I might want to look into that, how that works. If Kyle's going with something, if Kenny, all those guys that are really good at what I want to do, it's like, okay, I need to see what they have, and like, okay, compare. What works for me? But at that rate, parts are parts, and if they work, throw them on the truck. So,
Yep.
Nice.
But that's where we're going right now, and let's see. We're coming up on a couple events. So Domo, the new track, Domo, let me look up the full name. Domo. So, the Dove Nest Motorsports Club of Central Texas. So, Domo. The Domo Club, they were supposed to have their opening Raptor days this weekend. Actually today. But it got postponed just due to how cold it is and rainy and wet it is. So they're moving their opening Raptor days to March 8th. And I'm looking forward to going out there, seeing the new track, and doing some work with them. So just seeing how it goes. They seem pretty excited about what they've created, and I'm excited to see it, to be honest with you. But it looks like a pretty good facility, so I guess we'll see when we get out there. But I'm excited for that one. And then in April, we have ECR, so Eagles Canyon Raceway will have an R&R R&R off-road event. That one's going to be the first 4-day event, I believe. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yep.
I think so.
So that should be a wild ride because usually it's 2 days, 3 days at max. Now we're doing 4 days, so we should get a good wide brand of or variety of people that go out there. Possibly there's going to be some people that go only on Thursday, only on Friday, only on Saturday, and then probably the
Saturday's probably going to be. I mean, it definitely is going to be the busiest day.
Saturday probably has to be the biggest day because that's every event. Saturday's the number one, like, just volume of people. For back to March 15th and 16th, we have YumiCon Mochi Fest there at Trader's Village, which we are sponsoring the cosplay contest. So we have some trophies and some goodies for the winners, as well as promo codes for them to choose their own t-shirt that they'd like, t-shirt design from Ichi Clothing Company. So that's pretty cool. We have another event coming up in April 20th, that weekend, somewhere around there. That whole weekend is going to be done by Hatchet Events. So this is one of their first events that they're putting together. We're doing the same thing. We're sponsoring with cosplay contest prizes, and it's going to be a similar loadout. Goodies from Ichi. Actually, I need to verify that. But it's going to end up being similar things where it's a t-shirt, some goodies, and some trophies as well for the cosplayers that compete. So, but other than that, it's a packed year, and it's like everything's going so fast that it's like, oh, I have time to plan. I have time to do that. No. It's just like, boom, next weekend, next week, and everything's happening really, really fast. So I don't know about how is 2025 feeling for y'all? Because for me, it's like it slows down for 2 or 3 days, and then it's just like, boom, you're in the next month.
It's already late February.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And for the viewers, any of y'all watching, like, how is the time feeling for y'all? Because, like, it's at times it's moving too fast, and at times it's like I don't even know what day it is. Like, I'm all over the place, to be honest with you.
Tired.
Why are you tired, Sal? What did you do today?
Today, Noah and I went to the rodeo.
El Rodeo.
Yeah.
El Rodeo. Thanks to Kyle Farley.
Yeah.
The Kyle Farley. People get mad at me when I say Kyle Farley.
The Kyle.
The Kyle Farley. Yeah, I went to the rodeo last year to see Randy Rogers' band. Mm-hmm. And this year, this one came out of nowhere because they're just like, hey, come over to the house. Let's go.
Pretty much.
Okay. But it was a really cool experience because I've never been a part of any of that. Like, a lot of the stuff, just like the barbecue cook-off, I never even knew that was a thing. And Kyle and his wife are just like, come on out, experience this. I'm like, I didn't even know this was something that you could experience. So
pretty much.
What was your favorite thing from the rodeo, or like the actual rodeo, like the horses and cattle and bulls and
the tie-down roping.
Tie-down roping.
I didn't see a guy basically throw himself off a horse to tackle a freaking steer.
Yep.
Freaking awesome.
I didn't know that once they rope them, they have to wait to see if it'll get out of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was just once you're done, but it's no, you got to sit there and wait. And if that steer gets out of its tie, he don't get no score.
You don't get points.
I didn't know that. Although there was a lot of cowboys and cowgirls out there that were getting those penalties for a false start. But
yeah,
that is kind of a hard thing to time,
I mean, yeah, you pretty much gotta
wait. You gotta wait. Some of the harder ones were like the horse riding, the bull riding. I know for the horse riders, like, they're practically laying down before they leave the gate. For the bull riders, they're sitting a little bit more straighter up, but for the horse riders, they're laying down practically as soon as the gate opens. I'd have to say, like, of course, it's the part that I went to the restroom at, but my favorite thing to see is the barrel racing. That's usually my number one. Do you have a favorite thing at the rodeo to watch?
They make my food.
No. Okay. The rodeo. We'll get on to food next, but like
I've only seen the rodeo once, and it was probably the mutton busting. I think it's funny.
Holding on to the sheep.
The kids holding on to the sheep.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because you just see them go, and you can tell that they were told to like the right way to let go, because then they'll just go whoop. Like perfect form, just and then some of them will lay on their back like this till like their parents tell them to get up because they're just waiting.
There was one that was holding on for so long that the sheep just fell on them. Like they're holding on, the sheep just went like, bow. I mean, just like body slammed them.
Yeah, I think that the mutton busting is hilarious.
I think there was one kid that won, and then they put him on. They were trying to put him on the sheep for the second round, and he just didn't
want to go.
He didn't want to go, and they're like, "But you won the first. You got to do it." And he's like, "No, I'm not getting on it."
So it was like, oh, this kid chose a new career path.
Oh yeah, they changed their career path. But it was a little girl that won. She won the mutton busting.
Mutton busting.
Yeah. There was I think the highlight for me was the ladies roping, and the winner was there was two tied for the first place, and it was 1.9 seconds. One was a really young cowgirl, and the other was a 58-year-old cowgirl. And so when they were interviewing her, and they're like, "How are you feeling with this new generation? They went before you, and she hit that 1.9. Like, how do you feel about hitting that same 1.9?" And she was like, "Matt, I'm turning 50, 58, 50." She was, "I'm old. I don't know how old I'm turning, but I'm old." And she just had a lot of passion. I mean, if there was any kind of like photo finish or video from the rodeo, it was her performance, and like
the pig races are amazing.
I didn't see the pig races.
They're usually set up in front of the Ford booth. They're right there.
They had the Ford booth. This one they had I think I saw the sign for the pig races, and they were like straight across, like way at the other side. But I didn't see the pig races. But what was her name? JJ something. JJ something was I can't remember her last name, but that was like the photo finish video recall, like replay of the night. Like just the passion of it, the excitement of hitting that first place, especially at her age. I mean, shit, I can't even do that as it is. I can't throw a rope, let alone ride a horse and rope a steer. So, but that lady she was number one. I'm a number one fan right here. I need to look up her name now because it was JJ something. But if they come out with that replay, I'm posting it on Raptorstrike. Because that was like full blown excitement, adrenaline, and they showed the replay, and I'm like, that's what that's about right there. Like, it's all the emotion, and you're wearing it on your sleeve, And the singer was Nate Smith, Nathan Smith or Nate Smith? Nate Smith, which he's a newer country artist, and he just seemed super humble.
He seemed super excited to be there.
Yeah, which is you get like the performers that are like, "Yeah, San Antonio, we're here. Okay, that's it. Yeah, woohoo." But he actually started crying on stage, and he's like, this is insane. This is crazy, and I want to thank all y'all for coming out. And I think he said that his manager told him that this is the most tickets he's ever sold for a concert. But it was the same thing, that passion, that emotion, that he was just so excited. He was actually forgetting lyrics to the songs. and
Yeah.
he called himself out for it. He's like,
He's
like, sometimes you just forget the lyrics. He goes, we forget them too. I'm sorry. Like, but he had all of that. It was just all there. You know, that moment hit him
I think
really
it's,
hard.
It's crazy, especially coming from like starting off YouTube, trying to do business and all that. You don't think how much the little things matter, because when you see a video, like let's just say you're not in the YouTube space, right? And you see someone get 9,000 views, you're like, 9,000 isn't a lot. Or they're like, oh, thank you so much for 100 likes. And you're comparing to people like PewDiePie who get like 100,000 likes, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, why are they saying thank you? Why are they like, I know I didn't understand it, because I was like, what? Now if we get 10 likes on a video, it feels amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
or
not
if we
easy.
get comments,
It's not easy to do,
you know?
period.
Yeah.
And that's why I will say, if your friends ever have anything like YouTube or anything like that, just send them a comment. It's going to mean the world to them. You might not see it, but if you put like awesome video, it's going to mean the world. Because I know it means a lot to us when we get stuff like that.
Yeah, just watching the comments come in, like people literally just talking about what it is, or watching the view counter go up.
Yeah, the view counter,
like
subscribers.
I was on, like, for the video, the part 1 that you uploaded of our of the Raptor swap. Like, I'm just watching the part 1. I was sitting there refreshing the view counter. I'm like,
Just seeing if it kept
this is
going
cool.
up.
Yeah.
So like with the dude, he sounds like he's up and comer. Like he's probably, this is his biggest venue so far. You see that and you compare him to someone like Randy Rogers or I don't know, George Strait. They're like, why is he so excited for that? But to him, that was the world, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, one of the things that he said was, like, when he was talking to the audience, he said, you know, he's from California, but he said, I'm so scared of Texas. He's like, I feel y'all are gonna, of course, hold me to a different standard. Y'all just do things differently. Y'all set the bar. And he goes, I'm so scared to perform here. And
where was he from?
California.
He was from California.
Paradise, California. But he's like, it's just surreal being here at the rodeo, the San Antonio rodeo. And then he said, the hometown of George Strait. He goes, I'm now singing to his hometown. This is his home turf. Like, he's the bar. He's the bar, and I gotta hit it. And it was during that one that, like, he started choking up. And I remember Kyle leaning over to me and he said, is he crying? I said, not yet. He's holding it. But as a man that knows what it sounds like and what it feels like to hold in that emotion, I'm like, he's gonna bust any moment. Like, and then he was talking. He stopped talking. He started talking some more, and then you heard it in his voice. You saw it in his face.
I bet you anything with his like comment of like the Texas standard and all that, being from California, he probably got his haters that said, you're not even from Texas. You're not even from the South. You're not going to be able to be a country music singer.
It had to.
And now he's at like one of the cities, you know, one of the country cities.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you know what? I think it's a Texan thing to try to like make humor out of not an uncomfortable situation, but a situation where there's a lot of emotion, like to make a joke, because like when he started crying, you know, everyone's cheering, or he was holding it, and you knew he was holding it in, and everyone was cheering, and they got louder and they got louder. Then they got quiet, and then he started crying, and like one guy yelled out like, Nate, we love you, like, get, you know,
take your shirt off.
And somebody else said, take your shirt off. And so like everyone started laughing. It was like, what? But that's so random. But I think I honestly think if he heard that guy in the stand say take your shirt off, I really think that like knocked him back into the performance. Because like right when he said it, he put his mic back on and he's like, let's do this. And they went into the next song, and it was just a lot of power, a lot of passion, and like you heard it in his songs.
And I think it's like the crowd too.
Good artist too.
It was really good.
It's that Southern hospitality. It's that like, we understand. You're okay.
You're
you know?
Okay.
Just keep on going.
Don't
like
hold
making
it
a
in.
joke. Like, don't take it so seriously. You know? Take your shirt off. Probably snapped him out of it.
That's what I think, because I think everyone was so in that moment, and then it was just take your shirt off. I don't know how that bastard was so loud. Like you heard him in the stadium, and he's like, and right after that, you know, he just got right back into it and started singing. And he was jumping all over the place. He was giddy, and I think at the very end of the the very end of the concert, he finished and he's like, "Thank y'all so much," and then it's like he kind of snapped out of character. Like when you're on stage as a performer, myself, you're in character, right?
Yeah.
When you're performing, and you know that as well, and you know that from doing all the live streams.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like right at the end when he said, "Thank y'all for coming, I appreciate it." It's like he snapped out of being in character, and then just this rush of emotion came out because he moved off to the side and was like shouting into the stands and everybody there. He's like, "I just played San Antonio Rodeo," and you just felt like that eruption of, he wanted to say that on stage, but he had to do the show first. And it was really nice to see like a new artist that excited to be somewhere.
It sounds like he been to the San Antonio Rodeo, because for him to like hold San Antonio Rodeo up to that like I made it standard is so cool. I can only imagine what he felt like being on that stage, from being like a person going to being on the stage is insane.
Yeah, and so it's it's Kyle's wife's birthday on Monday. So they went to watch Nelly last night at the rodeo, and she had a sign that said, "It's my birthday," right? Well, she went today and she didn't bring the sign, but Kyle bought pizza, and she was like, "Where's the pizza box? Where's the pizza box?" And we found it because it was under my seat. Somehow it made its way under my seat, and we gave it to her, and she had a Sharpie and she put, "It's my birthday." And she's standing there with the "It's my birthday" pizza sign. And at first the bassist saw her, and he's like, you can see him like, "Happy birthday to you," right? And she's still holding it for like 3 songs or 4 songs. And by the end, the lights started coming on, and he's still singing, performing, and he's talking, and then you see him like lock eyes with where we're sitting, and he saw her. So he's getting to the end of that song, and he's like, "God bless America. Thank you, San Antonio Rodeo." And he's like, "And happy birthday to you over here in the stands." And so she was all excited. He actually signed the pizza box.
Really?
Yeah, he went to the stands to sign the pizza. He's like, "Where's the birthday girl? Where's the birthday girl?" They're like, "Sign my pizza box," and he signed it and everything. And like I said, he was. In the moment, I'm sure he was starstruck, and I'm sure everybody's excited to see him himself, because he stuck around for like the people that were in the dirt, like that paid for those close seats, and he did a meet and greet with everybody. So it's like, you have to be new to be able to, I don't want to say have that patience, but to do that.
Yeah.
Like to where that ego hasn't hit you yet. Like, take your time with your fans. They paid an arm and a leg to be there. I'm gonna go say hi and shake everybody's hand that's there, and that was really nice to see. I mean, it was a jolly good show, a jolly good show. So, but I think I'm gonna go look up some of his music. And
What'd you say his name was?
Nate Smith. You wanna put that in the chat there? Nate Smith, and I think his biggest hit right now is "Set the World on Fire," I think.
I think I've heard that.
"World on Fire." I think it's a big TikTok song that blew up. "World on Fire." That's what it is. That was the last song he played. But
Cool.
yeah, it was a really cool, Shout out to you, Nate. If you ever do see this, somebody send this to him.
Tag him.
Tell him to go to a Raptors and Rifles event. I might send him a message. Did even see the remote chance of him visiting.
Hey guy.
You never know. You don't know until you ask. And the worst he can say is no, unless it's a female, because she could
I'm
say ill.
assuming he didn't take his shirt off.
He didn't take his shirt off.
No, he didn't.
No, a big disappointment. So, sorry, Joey. He said this is a country song
An outrage.
concert, not Magic Mike.
Thunder from Down Under.
Well,
Yes.
before we started, Joey, you said you had a question for us.
Why do most No. If y'all, because I was thinking about this recently, and like, following your dreams, and like how you brought up the Nate Smith. He got to the San Antonio rodeo and he was so excited for it. If y'all had to choose a business, doesn't matter, like the money doesn't matter, location, like whichever, but if y'all had a dream business to open, what would it be?
Looking at me?
You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Probably I like any automotive performance shop, like anything, off-road, on-road.
So
Air.
any
Off
performance
and
shop.
on road?
Off and on road? Yeah.
In the
performance
water?
shop. Like if I could guarantee it would be successful,
Mm-hmm.
I would do it.
You'd nice.
What?
That'd be cool.
Where would you want to be though?
That's a good question because I could be closer to, say, for example, Baja. I'd have to be in California for that, but you know, I could be, you know, that would put me in a very good spot for off-road. But if I'm gonna do on-road stuff, well, the location there may not be as good. I'd have to be closer to someplace like Willow Springs or you know, it's still in California, but it's a little bit more further north. But yeah, it'd be one of those situations where it just depends on,
Where you want to go?
yeah, like what if I'm gonna like drill down into something, or if I'm just gonna stay generalized.
Do it all.
Do it all.
Do it all.
That's what I would.
He said money's not an object.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do. I would do it all. But
Boat performance.
send it.
The speedboats with the V8s,
I
the
like
twin
the-
turbo V8s.
I like the videos of the boats that aren't even touching the water.
Yeah.
Like they're just like,
It's just an outboard motor and the boat's just floating above.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not even touching the water.
Have you seen the videos of the speedboat racing? I believe it's in Thailand. Have you seen those dudes?
Oh, the little jump boats, the
Yeah.
ones that have the really long prop shaft.
Yeah, they're even like they're small, they're thin, and those dudes are just whipping them around corners.
No,
like-
I haven't seen those videos.
Very power to weight ratio, like 5 pounds to like a 300
And most of those
horsepower.
are diesels.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got your. Is that a Dodge? What is that noise on the water? What about you, Joey?
A restaurant in Italian Mexican fusion restaurant that I've been thinking about for years.
Italian.
Italian Mexican fusion. So let's just talk about a random dish.
He's like, the flags are
Mhm.
the same.
Yeah, basically the same.
Basically.
No, it would be something like, I don't know, like an Alfredo dish, right? Like pasta Alfredo, but you would have like the chicken cooked like asada, or not asada,
Fajita.
fajita, or something like that. Like fusing the two flavors together. That would be my dream.
Bridging
Mhm.
that gap.
I actually have somewhere. I think I saved it. I did a report on it junior year of high school. Like this has been a thing for years that I've been wanting to do. Restaurant.
I support this.
Yeah, I would totally want to open a restaurant. Kind
Well,
of
you
like
should start practicing.
cooking.
Yeah, like
I do.
build up your dishes, build up your menu, and say for example, you practice with, I
You
don't know,
make
with
that
your
breakthrough.
parents.
That's where I want to like I would go back to school to get like my culinary degree. If I ever had time, I'd go back to get it. Just to say I did it. Like I hired chefs. I don't know if I'd be like chef level, but I'd want it to be kind of like a
I mean, you'd be the
Olive
chef
Garden.
because it's gonna be
Your recipes.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be your
Well,
recipes, but
I get what you mean. Like you're running it and you have someone
Yeah.
culinary training galore
I'd rather be like
cooking.
the business owner than the chef. Because I like
Yeah,
when
I can't have Chef Ramsay come to my restaurant and tell me like it's shit. Like
it's his fault. Yeah, that would be the dream. No.
So when it comes to, I like this question, and when it comes to a business that I would own, if money wasn't an object, I think it's something that's left out a lot, and whenever it is done, there's a lot of like, oh, but and this, or sign your life away.
The military.
Well, it's military related, but doing like housing, build houses for military members, whether disabled or PTSD or things like that, to where it's handicap accessible for them. Because let's face it, there's a lot that we lack as a country ourselves, not paying it forward to the military members. Like, for a lot of the times they're forgotten, which is why we have a lot of these problems, because it's just like, well, thank you, but you did your time, and you were once a part of this big thing that means nothing to us. Like, it's a horrible thing to hear. Like, I have a good a mentor of mine out in Houston that he did the psychology research for like different specialized rooms for different, like a room to help them calm down in, or like textures, or like architectural things that help you or help the mind calm itself, like a relaxation room, or like a hyper texture room that'll get all the senses going. What do you call it? The sensory like overload.
Deprivation.
Yeah, where like it's the overload, it's the deprivation, but it's like there's things that mess with the senses to where you can calm yourself down, or to relax, or to anything of that type. Like,
here's the thing that just side note, it's called sound baths. Y'all heard of that? It basically sends sound waves through the water, and it's supposed to like calm you down. It's like a vibration.
So like an ultrasonic. Okay. I've never heard of that.
I'll just go throw myself in an ultrasonic cleaner.
Right, you come out a different color, like, oh, I was just dirty this entire time. But I have a good friend of mine that's always pitched this idea to contractors, and it's just like there's no money in it. Like, you can't. That's so much R&D to actually build something of that stature for the reason that we want to do it. So I mean, when it, just like with the start of Raptorstrike, like none of this was for profit. Like that wasn't the first thing in our mind. And if I had just boatloads of cash to do whatever I wanted without any repercussions, it would be building. And even if I had to sell them their house, like, I'm going to make this house specifically for you, make it at cost, make it affordable for them.
Like,
and it's like, I'm not going to make anything off of it besides just being able to build the next one, because we're building it for you. Sure, it's going to cost, say, $100,000. $100,000 for a house is very reasonable in
nowadays.
That's like a house that you bought back in 1973 that was $20,000 is now, $500,000. And it's like, no normal person can afford that. No salary can afford that, that's coming out of the military that's not, way up there in rank. Usually the ones that are way up there in rank don't have these issues because they're not the ones that went,
Yep.
It's usually the guys and gals that come home all banged up that are the ones that are the lower ranks, and then they're just, okay, bye. Thank you for your service. Get out. You're kind of in the way. And it frustrates me to like no end, and that's why it pushes me a lot to support Raptors and Rifles and different organizations that are like that. And it's just like, I support any way I can. I just don't have enough money. And that's the sad what's the situation?
Truth.
It's a sad truth. And so a lot of the times I forget to mention Raptorstrike because I'm talking so much about other nonprofits. It's like, look, these are great things to back. I back them, and I don't know what that says about me as a person, but I couldn't give a damn what you thought of me as long as you understood the message and like what we're trying to do. So to answer that question, if I could do anything, we all know my dream. I want to be a race car driver. And the other half of that is, I want to do something fulfilling. So yeah, being a race car driver would be fun and I'd really enjoy it, but how would that help people? It really doesn't. You know, it's fun, or at least I think it's fun. But I know there's a lot of things I'm not thinking of that when I finally make it there, it's going to be stressful. And I mean, and they always say, be careful what you wish for. This is what I'm wishing for right now, but there'll come a time where, you know, that paragraph or that graph, they intersect, you know, and
yeah.
But that's the business idea. I would like to construct homes for the servicemen and women that got forgotten. Because sure, you know, you have the VA, which is little to no help, you know, and like the healthcare, which is ish, you know. Here's another way to be like, look, you did your service. You paid almost the full price, you know. So here's how I can make your life a little easier. Here's an affordable home that is adapted to you. And unfortunately, the other thing about that is like nobody really wants to do it because it's purpose built for one person. And it's like, after that, how are we going to sell it? Well,
It's
I'm
still
not.
a house.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not thinking about how am I going to sell it. I'm thinking about how do I make this person feel comfortable after everything they've been through.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, sorry, that it's hot in here now. Like I raised my blood pressure with that one, but it's
because you're passionate about it.
And I want to
that's-
be. I want to be.
Yeah, that's a
You
good
know?
thing. Being passionate
So-
about something is good.
It gives me something to work towards. I'm in my midlife crisis, dog. Like I'm shooting for 50. Like, okay.
Your quarter life crisis.
My quarter life crisis.
Ow.
But yeah, that's what I do. Because I know a lot of people that want to do it, but there's just no funding to do it.
Yeah.
Either which way, you know, make it happen somehow.
Yep.
Somehow.
Anyways, been an hour.
It has. Oh, that was a quick hour.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Shall we keep going? I'm just kidding. Shall we keep going?
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you, San Antonio.
Anything from you, Sal?
None really much. I just like to say today was pretty fun. So, yeah, thanks, Kyle, for the last minute invite. And yeah, I look forward to being here with y'all next week.
Thanks, Sal.
I am tired, man. My brain is like,
He's tired.
my brain is gone.
It was cold. It was very cold.
Yeah.
All I know is that the AT&T Center, like you said, saved money by not having to turn on that AC.
Yeah.
Because you could see your breath inside the AT&T Center.
Frost Bank Center. Sorry.
Oh, excuse me, the
Frost.
Frost Bank Center.
See, Frost is in its.
Oops, I'm sorry. It's still the AT&T Boulevard. Actually, no, I think they changed the
changed it.
signs. Yeah, they changed the signs.
They're Frost, whatever now.
Frost Boulevard or something like that.
Frost Street.
Yeah. Joey, anything?
Duolingo.
No.
No. Alrighty.
Hey
well,
guys, my dryer's done drying.
Oh, that's all I needed to hear.
all I need to know. All right, for those of y'all watching, just gonna do a quick rundown like I have been doing for the last few episodes. If you go over to our website, raptorstrike.net, you'll see all of our partners and our supporters. We got Raptors and Rifles. Always, please, if there's anything that you can donate, $1, $2, $3, $100. That was a big jump, I know, but you know I'm trying to sneak it in there. But
Just do what you can.
just do what you can.
If you can't, then don't
If you can't,
don't
share
put
it.
yourself in a bad financial situation.
That's true. That's the other thing. But also sharing it is absolutely free. So just sharing the word, sharing about the donation, sharing about the mission, that's all free. So that's the least that we can ask for. They are doing giveaways and raffles throughout the next year. They're doing, you know, if you're a $10 a month donor, they will put your name and do random selections out of that. So please, thank you. We really appreciate it. If our next promo we still have going with Desert Squadron, so if you need a first aid kit for your vehicle or just one to have that you'd like to get, you know, they have.
You should always have a first aid kit on you.
You should. Promo code Raptorstrike for 15% off. Along with your purchase, 15% of that purchase will be donated to Raptors and Rifles. So that's another way to donate.
Kick flick.
We have Untold Off-Road, promo code Raptorstrike for 15% off. That is a off-road fabrication shop here in San Antonio. So everything they made is designed, built, and if you're in town, installed here in San Antonio. Agave's Jewelry is next. I'm always rocking their jewelry, either custom jewelry or the stuff they sell off the shelves. They're here in San Antonio at the Ironside Antique Mall. R&R Off-Road Racing School, promo code Raptorstrike for 10% off. That is for actually all of their classes. So whether you take a Raptor, you rent a Raptor, or you do the side-by-side courses for the off-road, use our code.
It's worth it.
For those of y'all, it is worth it. It's a really good class. Somewhat, I personally think of it as like a defensive type class. Like if you're losing control, you can try to help get yourself back straight away.
Off-road driving, I mean, they teach you a bit of on-road too, but like the off-road driving part can help you a lot in situations in which you don't expect.
Correct.
Because, say for example, like today, I was on my way over here to the studio, and I was under an underpass, and I went a little bit too hard on the throttle after turning, and here's a ditch, here's another ditch. My truck's like this, and the valuable training I have learned over the years of driving like an idiot.
A professional amateur, Sal. Professional
idiot. And driving like a complete moron has paid off because I was able to get my truck back under control without, falling into any of the ditches.
And then having to call me to get you out.
And then having to call Noah. Having to make the call of shame to have Noah come and pull me out because I ended up in a ditch after, trying to go sideways.
And remember, we will never make fun of you for asking for help, but we will laugh at you after the fact, after we help you, and we make sure you're okay. For those of y'all's anime people that follow us, Ichi Clothing Company, promo code Raptorstrike, 15% off. Take a look at their designs. They make decals now, so either you can get a shirt and a decal, or just the decals. It's up to you. For those of y'all that are in Victoria, Texas, we have Think Pink and More. They also have their online store, and if there's something you don't find online, shoot them an email or give them a call. I guarantee you, it's a big say, I guarantee you they have it for sale. That's
a big guarantee right there.
That's a big guarantee. Don't fail me now. That's perfumes, colognes, accessories, bags, clutches, purses, and all that kind of stuff. Raptorstrike, number 10% side. That's 10% off. All of these are written down on our website, so don't worry if you don't remember them. CV Fabrication, they've been supporting us since the beginning. Promo code Raptorstrike for 5% off on their website. The truck has basically everything that they offer, except for the turbo inlet tubes because they don't fit for the Raptor. I found that out the hard way because, yeah. Then we have YumiCon as well as Alamo HeroCon / Military HeroCon, which are conventions hosts that do these things. Great people, great events, family fun, free or a very inexpensive ticket, depending on the event. Then we have Bandito Rugs. So Bandito Rugs, we have this very nice custom Raptorstrike logo for the studio. Take a look at what he has available, and or custom order your own. And with that,
carp rug.
Oh yeah. And with that, this has been the Raptorstrike Podcast, episode 55. Can you believe it, guys? 55.
Actually, one more thing.
Oh, one more thing from Sal.
What's our website?
Raptorstrike.net.
Exactly.
Have a visit. If you like this, like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, share it with your friends. It's absolutely free to do all of those things. But in all, be cool and stay humble. We'll see you guys next week. Deuces.